Yo, what's up guys, Shujinkydink here with another video to entertain or assist you in becoming a better Injustice 2 player. And this video is all about the balance of Injustice, matchups, blah 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 blah. Deadshot's broken and all that jazz. I recently made a comment in one of my previous videos saying that I think that this is one of the most balanced NRS games we've ever had to date. And I'm not taking that statement back by any means. I stand by it, I believe in it. There is a few issues balancing wise, but the comments kind of blew up on the subject, so I kind of wanted to talk about it. So it was a thread that was started off with this comment here that says, everyone's so evenly matched, he's making fun of me. This game is literally all about counterpicking. No one is evenly matched whatsoever. You can't even main certain characters without being counterpicked to shit in online in this game. Now, while I agree that that might be true online, I'm talking more competitive-wise, and I do believe that there is really only maybe 2 or 3 counterpicks in this game, and only 2 unbalances, and they're extremes. So we're talking about, the first one is Deadshot, and I think he's like number 1. He's a counterpick to anybody that doesn't have a good projectile game, outzones most zoners. However, you can counter him with Starfire. Starfire outzones him. Kind of funny how that works. Then the other imbalance is on the other end of the spectrum with Swamp Thing. So Swamp Thing has a really big floaty jump. He doesn't really have enough tick throws. He's kind of slow, easy to react to. He just doesn't play the game as well. So if we take those 2 characters out of equation, I don't see anybody else that's going to be having a hard time in this game. There is very few 7-3 matchups. I think Cyborg actually has some good matchups. Dr. Fate has some good matchups. But they also have bad matchups that aren't too out of balance, you know. There's 6-4s and 7-3s here and there. And that's not unwinnable by any means. And, you know, there's still bad matchups, but you just have to outplay your opponent. And there's nothing that I've seen that's really an 8-2 as far as bad matchups go. If you don't really know what those numbers mean, basically to find a matchup, you take, say, a set out of 10. And that kind of determines, like, if you played 10 games and you each won 5 games, that makes it an even matchup, or what we call a 5-5. If you play 10 games and one person wins 6 and one person wins 4, then we call it a 6-4 matchup, because it's slightly in somebody's favor, but not terribly. Then you start to get to 7-3, and that's kind of where it's like, you might want to think about a counter pick, but you can still do it, because most tournament sets are first to 3. Technically, you have a chance to win 3 games, so it's not unwinnable by any means. Somebody in the comments underneath this, I'll see if I can find it here for you guys. Okay, so this young gentleman says, how do you win a 7-3 matchup against a guy as good as you? You don't. Matchup knowledge doesn't mean anything if your character gets neutralized by another character. And that's unbalanced. You can't deny evidence. Why did Honeybee lose Evo? Because Flash sucks against Aqua shit. Not because it's a funny name. Not because he is a worse player than Dragon. How can you even deny facts? First of all, that's not a fact. That's just an opinion. I'm sure it's a bad matchup. It's not that bad. I actually responded to this guy and I had more to say, but it's like, you know what, I'm just going to make a video about it so that everyone can kind of get their 2 cents in, because what he's saying is kind of like he clearly lost because he picked the Flash against Dragon's Aquaman. And I want to show you something that might change your mind on that. So this was the final set of EVO Grand Finals. So you got Honeybee, who won 2 games, and Noble Dragon, who won 3. And one of those losses from Honeybee was because he picked Aquaman and tried to outdo Dragon in the mirror match. He didn't have faith in his Flash in that matchup. Maybe it's a bad matchup, I don't know. I mean, I think he probably gave away the set by just making that pick, because he would have had an extra game to work with Flash. That matchup can't be that terrible if he's playing it at the absolute highest level, the grand finals of the World Championships, and he barely loses 3-2 because he threw away a game. I mean, his Aquaman wasn't very good, let's get down to that, but I don't believe that that really proves anything, just going by that one matchup of EVO Grand Finals. And that's really it, guys. I just wanted to give my 2 cents. I think right now, Deadshot and Swamp Thing are on 2 opposite ends. If you take them out completely, then you have a really, honestly, truly balanced game. Any character can compete with anybody. I honestly do believe that, but they do need to do something about those 2 characters to make it the best game. And it's a fighting game. Every fighting game, you're going to have some matchups where, you know, you might have to pick a different character, or there's a tier list where some characters are better than others. Sometimes it's not even counterpicking, it's just different characters are just better. Tekken is a very balanced game for what I understand, but there still are some characters that are a little bit easier to use and whatnot. Virtua Fighter 5 is a game that has a bit of a tier list. Everyone's pretty even if you ever played. I love that game, it's so much fun. But then you have Akira, I believe his name is. Yeah, it's Akira. I always get him and Akuma mixed up. But he's apparently like the best in the game, but he also takes the hardest and longest amount of time to master. So there's that aspect to it as well. But that's not important. I just wanted to make this because I saw that comment get out of control, and I was like, I have a lot to say on this topic. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like because it really helps me out, and subscribe because we make videos every single day. Hashtag Bonehawks and all that stuff, and we'll see all you guys in the next video.